Hi kids! Today we're learning about some unexpected heroines in the Bible. You know, the story of Shipra and Puah is old. In fact, it's very old. It can be found right at the beginning of the second book of the Bible. Do you know what that book's called? It's called Exodus. It comes right after Genesis. Well, this story is about something that happened thousands of years ago. Not just hundreds of years ago, but thousands. That's before Jesus was born, before King Daniel was born, way back at the beginning of the Old Testament. Let's see if I can help you understand a bit more about this story. I wonder if you already know the story of Moses. You know, the one about how he was saved because he was hidden in a basket, a bit like this one, in the bulrushes. Yeah, that's the story. Can you finish it? Do you know it? Do you know that story? I wonder if you can remember the name of the sister. Well, if you can't remember her name, stop this video now. Go and read the story in the Bible. You can find it in Exodus chapter 2. And it comes right after the story you have just heard about. You could pause the video now and go and read it. So where were we? Oh yes, Pharaoh's daughter saves Moses. She went down to have a bath in the river, and as she was there bathing in the river, she sees a basket. And when she looks inside the basket, she sees baby Moses. You know, Pharaoh's daughter knew that Moses was a Hebrew, and she also knew that her father, the Pharaoh, had commanded that all baby Hebrew boys were to be killed. I think in this story she is an unexpected heroine. She was just going out for a wash and she ended up adopting a baby. Now that is a bit unexpected. Then the sister of Moses, did you get her name when you looked it up? Or do you remember her name? Yes, her name was Miriam. Up she pops and suggests that she goes and finds a nurse for the baby. Of course, she is really suggesting Moses' own mother, and I think Pharaoh's daughter possibly knew that already, but pretended that she didn't. Moses goes back to his mother, and she gets to bring him up, and no one dares interfere because they know that that would upset Pharaoh's daughter, and nobody wanted to do that. So Miriam is a heroine too, because it must have been very scary to just go and have a chat with Pharaoh's daughter. What if Pharaoh's daughter was cross? What if she got angry with her? But really, there were some other heroines that came before all of this, and we heard about them in our story today. If you were listening very carefully, you will have heard that some of the names for the people in the story was said in a different way. The reason for that is because the lady telling this story is Jewish, and she pronounces the names in the Hebrew way rather than the English way. Did you catch them? The two midwives were the real heroines of the story. What they did comes before Moses is rescued. Perhaps Pharaoh's daughter had already heard about what the midwives were doing. Did their bravery change her thinking about the Hebrews and cause her to disobey her father? Was it their actions that caused Moses' mother to have hope for her little boy and end up taking care of him? If those midwives had done what Pharaoh had told them to do, Moses would never have made it to that basket. Those midwives would have killed him already before he even had a chance. In the story, a question is asked. Do you think the midwives were Hebrew midwives or Egyptian midwives? I wonder, does it really matter? What we do know is that God used some ordinary women to do an extraordinary thing, and their actions saved one of the greatest leaders of the Jewish people. Moses. Moses goes on to save the Jewish people and to lead them out of slavery. I don't expect they realise that their actions would have such a massive impact on the Jewish people. To them, it was just saving one baby after another. You know, kids, they knew in their heart that what Pharaoh was doing was wrong. And in their own way, they took a stand against it and stood up for what they think was right. After all, people become midwives because they love women and because they love babies. Sometimes God calls people to travel long distances and to go to other countries to do great and wonderful things for Him. But more often, kids, He calls us to do things for Him right where we are, when we are just going about our everyday jobs. I don't expect the midwives were expecting to be heroines, and I don't expect you wake up every morning expecting to do something very brave for God. Kids, we never know when we might be called upon to do something brave and something exceptional. We don't always have time to think about what to do. We just act because we are trying to do the right thing. Sometimes it's later on when we look back and we realise what we did, and we realise that we actually did something that was rather extraordinary. I want to know something. Do you want to be ready for when that moment comes? That moment when you suddenly just need to go and do something brave? The great thing is that we are not on our own when we need to go and do something brave. Jesus said He would send His Holy Spirit to come and strengthen us so that we would never be on our own. If you want to be ready, why don't you join in with the prayer today? See you soon. Bye.